Alright, this is my 150th video. So I thought I would do a review of the comic that made me realise I had to start doing videos. This is Elastic Man #1 by Gail Simone, and I'll give you a spoiler, this is awful. If you didn't know the writer, Gail Simone, she is a champion of women everywhere. She hates women being abused in comics. She hates when female characters, they're just there to facilitate the male characters. Except, of course, she is a hypocrite, a liar, and an idiot. Classically, she moaned about Green Lanterns, when his girlfriend, who was an incredibly minor character, when she was killed off just to add drama to the male character. Yet conversely, she also praised Michael Bryan Benson for killing off the Wasp in Secret Invasions, because she perceives the Wasp as a weak female character. But the thing is, the Wasp is an actually strong female character, one who had led the Avengers several times for long tenures, and never once had appeared weak in the face of the infamous domestic abuse against her. No, the thing is, it's clear, light as day, Gail Simone thinks that the Wasp is weak and a bad representation for women simply for having suffered from that domestic abuse. But when it comes to strong female characters, try and think of a strong female character that Gail Simone has actually created. Not ones that she has co-opted for her agenda, like Batgirl or Dominoes, ones that she has created that continue to be relevant, that other people use, that people like. The first one that I could think of was a bikini-wearing cowgirl who was mainly just there for dead pills to want a bone. But really, this is all prelude. I'm going to be mostly looking at the female representation in this here Elastic Man by Gail Simone. First off, we have got a woman on the cover. A pretty woman, a very pretty woman. She is dressed nice and she is doing a seductive pose, and she's effectively taken centre stage because this atrocious layout has the logo blocking off most of the main character. This woman is barely in the comic. Why is she on the cover? Apparently, it is okay to slap a beautiful woman on the cover, looking all nice and pretty, to sell Gail Simone's comics. But just imagine if anyone else had put out a cover like this. Also, there was another thing, some hypocritical logic. Killing off women in comics, that's bad in Gail Simone's mind, but Ganon have a dead bloke on the cover. Loads of people have talked about that one though, the treatment of male characters in her books, and to me, it seems a bit pointless to focus on that, and not on how hypocritical this whole piece of shit is. The woman from the cover, or at least a woman similar to the one on the cover, is in the first few pages. She is called Janet, and her entire contribution is being completely subservient to this man. A man who on the second page threatens to hit her. Keep it up, you want a slap, babe. That is her whole character. A trophy girlfriend to a mobster who just takes his abuse and neglect and likes to look nice and pretty and go out dancing. Just imagine if somebody else had did this comic. Elastic Man, he gets beaten up by some mobsters and this little kid shows up. I haven't read the rest of the series, why would I? Why would anyone? But I imagine Gail made a huge deal that this kid is non-binary. And not wrong with being non-binary, some of my favourite numbers are non-binary. But maybe putting a non-binary child in your comic just for accolades is dodgy, and the dialogue is awful. She says, "That was so wang." And then we have got Elastic Man yelling out, "Is wang good or bad? Does it still mean penis?" And that is the exact moment I regretted buying this comic. The artist is really good. She is better than this comic. She drew Miss Marbles. She is a really good artist. And like this here, this is a really good image. Just the writing. Elastic Man, he is shouting, "That is so wang." It's just embarrassing. Gail Simone, can you just sit down? You are embarrassing the whole family. This book is about as funny as a tumour. Here is the hilarious bit she got into bother for because it was transphobic. She thinks it's inherently funny to have the male character morph into a female form. That is very progressive of her. And our next female character is another minor one, Doris here. A woman defined by two things: being a stripper, or at least working in a strip club, and wanting to get with the male character. She apparently really fancies Elastic Man. Her entire character and contribution is to be provocatively dressed and to lust after the main character. Just imagine if somebody else had did this comic. While we're at it, down here, look, there is a female stripper dressed as Catwoman, but it's okay because there's also a male stripper right next to her to balance it out. And stop you thinking that it's Leary or a woman being exploited for a comic. Our next female character is Lila. A character, again, defined by two things: being a stripper and being the unrequited love object of the main star. Why, it's almost as if this female character is just there to add that bit of angst or drama to the main character. She certainly has no personality besides that one element which is to benefit the male character. Also, she's in two panels. She is a stripper and literally just there for the male character's story. Just imagine if somebody else had did this comic. And our final woman, and the closest to an actual character or a strong female, this woman called Obscura. But she is just the generic Gail Simone strong female character. She's a gun-toting, secret agent spy assassin who is superb at everything she does, aka dominoes. And take a look at Elastic Man's shirt there. It's okay, all this misogynistic writing, it's invalidated because she has put Elastic Man wearing a feminist t-shirt. And actually, despite us being forced to think that Obscura is awesome because she is a gun-toting secret agent spy assassin, she is just like the other women in this comic. For starters, one of the first things she does is look at Elastic Man's cock. And it turns out that actually she is just there to ask for his help. That is a really strong female character, innit? Literally, she has to ask for the man's help. That is her main reason for being in this book. To, again, facilitate the plot for a male character. Just imagine if somebody else had done this comic. She's also there for exposition and for us to be told that she is gorgeous. Lady, you are gorgeous. So those are the 4 female characters in feminist Gail Simone's comic book. One glamorous trophy moll who is just cheesecake, threatened with violence from a man. 2 strippers who are barely in it and just there for the male character and again for some more cheesecake. And 1 to progress the plot by asking for a man's help and conveniently being cheesecake while doing it. 4 female characters, each with names, not a single one with personality or any semblance of attributes that Gail Simone would lobby for in comics. Just imagine if somebody else had done this comic. She would have a fucking aneurysm. A stupid little women in refrigerators thing was one specific thing from an issue of Green Lanterns that she exploited and milked for a lengthy career by saying that supposedly all comics like to treat women that way, which was not true. In this issue alone, she treats female characters worse than that issue of Green Lanterns. Gail Simone is a joke, an unfunny joke, and this comic is a hypocritical shambles. So that is why I am doing this. Dear Gail Simone, you are an embarrassment to feminism, you're an embarrassment to women, you're an embarrassment to everyone. I will say one positive. I looked and there wasn't a single cat anywhere in it. But still, I rate this bullshit 7 dead women's thumbs up.